Good morning. So, it is Sunday. I got back from Abisu on Tuesday. Bridget has since gone home. So now I am left to my own cheeky endeavours. What am I doing? I am about to fix the 180. So I'll show you what's fucked. And then we can drive it out to the yard, move some trucks out of the way, strap it to the telegraph pole. I'm going to use my own telegraph pole in my own yard. It's probably better than using the telegraph pole on the side of the road. Getting strange looks from Japanese people, so yes. Show you where we're at. So, the strut tower has moved in. I don't know at what stage, how far. And it has also moved back. In turn has caused an issue. Let's have a look. There. And caster wise, we're back maybe 20 mil. So why I think it's moved so easy, literally only just touched the wall with the wheel and kind of the front a little bit, is because obviously crashed this side like twice now, I think, 3 times. I'm not sure, can't remember, I'm losing count. But basically what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to pull it all straight, measure it all up, make sure it's all perfect, and then I'm going to probably cut some metal away from the strut tower and basically fab some new sheet and all that sort of stuff to actually make the strut tower more structural again. And I'm also going to put a strut brace in it from now on. Kind of thankful that I haven't had a strut brace on it in the past, because the big hit I had on this side at Mayhan probably would have pushed that strut tower across as well if I had have had a strut brace. So actually, I might be lying. I might not get a strut brace. Don't want to be lying to you guys, but yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave the bonnet on. I'll take the front bar off, and then I will, at this stage, leave the guard on, just take the bolt out in the front there, because once I start pulling and closing the bonnet, I'll be able to actually see sort of where this gap needs to be and how far forward it needs to be and all that sort of stuff. So yes, I'll yank the front bar off, go out to the yard, move some trucks out of the way, and then get the tools I need to start straightening this thing. All right, let's get to work. This is becoming an issue. All right, I got the front bar off. I've moved the truck, had to jump start the truck, had to move the truck, had to move my other truck, had to move the K-car mission. Got the front bar off. Thankfully, it's not too damaged, so I should be able to fix that up with a little fiberglass kit. And if I'm going to do that, because I'm a little bit time rich at the moment, I might actually clean up the rest of this area that I had on the car, and then paint that as well, so I've got spare stuff, which would be cool. So I've still got the car kind of loaded from Matsuri, but I think I'm just going to leave that all in there. I'm going to drive this out, connect the tow strap up to probably the LCA, the rear cradle, and then park the truck in front of it and get the chain and start yanking that strut tower. So let's do this. Okay, so this is the old dude who lives around the corner from me. He always comes over and tries to talk to me, but knows I can't speak Japanese, but still tries to come and talk. But that's fine. He's totally fine to come and hang out here while we yank this car straight. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so strut tower bolt to strut tower bolt. We're looking for 963. And at the moment I've got 936. So we still need to go 30 mil that away. Alright, it's starting to get dark. I'm at 960, so we still need 3 mil. But as soon as I release the tension off this, that's going to spring back in heaps. So I'll try and pull it to like 970, and then hopefully it'll spring back like 7 mil. But I have a feeling it's going to go back further than that. But that's getting really fucking hard to pull. And I feel like that's going to explode shortly. But let's keep pulling. Well, that's where it needs to be, but we haven't released the tension off that yet. So we'll see how far it springs back. Alright, it's the next afternoon. About to start getting back into the car again. Decided that me pulling downwards is not working, so I'm going to turn this around because there's a tow hook that's actually up a little bit higher than that. And then I'll pull from that to hopefully pull just outwards. So, yes, I'm going to get into that now. I've actually had it strapped like this all night. And I feel like it's almost far enough out, but by looking at this crease here, kind of looks like this needs to go forward. Yeah, I think so. Can I? Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. But that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, let's keep going. I've kind of pulled as much as I can here. I think I actually need to pull this strut tower forward, so I'm about to get the measurement for that bolt there to that bolt there. And see if that needs to come forward. However, from that strut tower bolt to that strut tower bolt, we're meant to be 963, and now that I've released everything, we're only at 950, so we're 13 mil out still. Not sure if I'm going to leave it there, but at this stage the truck is just moving backwards. The car's staying where it is, which is pretty wild because I need that small ratchet strap, but yeah, I'm thinking at this stage I'll measure from there to there. If that's out, I'll try and pull this forward. If that's not out, I will probably take it into the shed and put it next to my pole in the shed, because I'll start pulling this stuff, and this stuff will only need light pulling. So I'll be able to pull it in the shed there rather than trying to do this in there and pulling the shed down on my head. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Suppose I'll measure there to there and we'll see how we go. Regardless of that, this needs to come up. Possibly the whole strut tower, to be honest, because the way this is creased here sort of tells me that, you know, sort of we need to go up here to get this crease to sort of flatten out. And I'm not sure what to do with this one. I think that also needs to come up so that that can go down. I'm not sure how I'm going to get this to come up, however, so might be coilover out and maybe jack up a pole underneath the car and jump on this part of the frame. I'm not too sure yet, but yeah, I'm about to work it out. Yeah, let's... Another thing I want to do is, now that this has had an absolute beating twice from me and many times from the previous owner, is I'll possibly unstitch this rad support, dolly and hammer it all like perfectly straight again, or possibly buy another one if it's cheap enough. And then I'm going to put tubs in it, and like I said, I'm going to reconstruct that strut tower a little bit so it's stronger, and if I do hit something, that's not going to continue to happen. So yes. Alright, let's get measuring. The measurement I'm looking for from this bolt here that your guard bolts onto to the strut tower is actually 364. Let me just adjust this camera a little bit. Not sure if I'm going to be able to put this down here. It's wedged between the overflow bottle cap and the strut tower. Actually like 3 mil too far here. So yes, I can deal with 3 mil there. Dealing with 13 mil from there to there, that is a bit odd. It's odd that I'm 3 mil too far forward here, but not enough width that way. So I suppose if I'm pushing it more that way, that is essentially going to close the diameter between there and there. So yeah, it's not too far out. I will now find a measurement from that bolt there where the guard bolt's on to, I think, this bolt here where the guard bolt's on. So I'll find that now. Okay, so Geordie suggested a good idea, and that was that we use a winch off the tow truck. My tow truck has a winch. I should have been using it the whole time, but he's just rocked up with Toshi's tow truck. He's going to leave it here for the night. He's going to go pick up a car tomorrow. Here he is, the man himself.
Sorry, Toshi.
So we're going to use the winch to the car, and then we can just literally pull it tiny bit by tiny bit with the button. And this tow truck weighs probably a fair bit more than my actual truck, so hopefully it'll weigh enough to not move, and we can just yank that puppy out. Alright, that's what we're working with. Yeah, mate. Stop there. Alright, let's measure that. Center of bolt. We're about to be 964. So it's probably gonna have to pull it another, say 5 mil, maybe 10 mil, so that when it comes back, it doesn't go too far. Alright, he's about to release it. We'll see how much it comes back. Fuck loads. Basically back to where it was, I reckon. Let's measure that. Alright, well it went all the way back to where it was at 950. So we're gonna have to pull it to like, I don't know, almost like 980 and then let it come back. But when we get to 964, this is gonna like explode. I can hear it like getting so much tension. Alright. Look how much that's moving. It's fucking crazy. Alright. That is wild. Alright, we've moved the car back so that we're pulling dead straight on sideways, and we've moved this to the back eyelet so we can pull that straight sideways as well. So we've actually strapped this with this time rather than that because that exploded. Alright. Okay, so no one's lost an eye, but it's just torn that out of there. So we're going to put a D-shackle. I was going to put a D-shackle on there, but that's not going to work, so we're not going to be able to put the hook from the winch in there. So I'm going to go make another plate like that and pull an eyelet in the end, and then I'll bolt that to the strut tower, and then we'll keep pulling. We only need to go like 10 more mil, so yes. Okay, so we're in the other shed measuring the strut tower distances because I was like, this looks straight. And I've just measured it. And it's not to say that this hasn't been in a crash in the past. Don't quote me on these numbers because it's telling me I need to be 964. 9.4, I'm gonna say 7 or 9.48. So my other one is like 9.5 something. So technically we've gone like 5 mil past. So we're gonna leave that there. No more pulling. Basically just work on pulling it out and up here now. So technically we've gone like 5 mil too far. So I'm just going to leave that, get a strut brace and just kind of pull it in. And now we're going to pull this up. So we've basically gone up over the top of the ramp and back down. This doesn't actually need much strength to pull. See how weak it is with my hand. So we're just going to pull this up now, and then we'll test fit the guard, and then I'll take it into the shed and dolly and hammer all of this. And then I've got replacement uprights for these. So yeah, a little bit of welding tonight, a little bit of painting tonight. Will hopefully be done tonight if I push pretty hard. It is 6, so maybe by 1 or 2 we'll have the car back together. Alright, let's keep going. So we pulled up from there with that eyelet in there, and now we need to pull this across roughly sort of 20 mil, I'm thinking. You can actually see in here where the upright is. The upright's slightly across. So we'll pull back that way, hopefully get all that straight. This is a genius idea to do this with the fucking winch. Alright, yep. Nah. Stop. Yep.
Huh?
Let it off. Yep. Hey? What it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe up to that one again? Hey?
Let's not take the arm off. The rock.
But didn't you say it was bending this?
Oh no, it was just this that started moving. So I thought it was actually bending something, but it was just moving this straight. So you'll be right.
Alright, sweet.
Yeah, it should be right. I actually want to take this off. Honest. There you go.
Yep, sweet. Yep. Car's back in the shed, already looking a lot straighter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the cooler off. I'm going to take the intercooler piping out and take the radiator out, the battery out, probably take the fuse box out and the overflow, and then really get to dollying and hammering this as straight as I can. I've never done that on this before. There has needed that ever since I got the car. So I will get to work. It is freezing here at the moment, currently 8 degrees and getting colder. But yes, once I get moving and start hammering, I should warm up. So I'm going to pull everything off the front of the car now. And that way I can really get into all the tight areas, get the pressure out of where there's pressure, and hopefully get this all flattened out as best I can and welded back together as best I can. And the parts I need to cut out, I'll cut out and possibly create a new tub for this side and a new tub for that side if I need to. But at the moment, I'm just concerned with getting everything out and start attacking everything with a dolly and hammer. Everything's apart on this side. This battery tray is basically just like paper mache. Look at this. So yeah, better cut that out. The ground was on there as well, so ground was on this part, providing a really good ground. Here, I'll show you. Look at that. That's nice. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is get this crease out of it. This Johnny right here. And then lift this up and then grind that as flat as I can, and then grind and reshape this as flat as I can, and then I'll re-weld that to that, and then I can dolly and hammer all this bullshit. And then I don't know about creating a whole new tub at the moment, but I might cut it off like there and then just remake just the battery tray side of things for the time being. All right, let's get the hammer out. Okay, so this is basically straight now. However, I was like, I need to yank the wheel off to find out why it's actually moved so far back, because the cast drum looks like it's in the same spot it's meant to be in. However, see that kink right there? That kink's there because the front K-frame has been moved backwards. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. So yes, I have to work out how to actually pull the front K-frame forward. And I also need to pull sort of this part of the tower forward as well, so I can get this to come forward. So it's more of a gradual, because it's been shunted back, it's actually caused that to go up. So yes, I would say this is partially from the first time I crashed it. And look how fucking rusted this tower is. And I found some other fun things along the way. See this? This looks like rust. I thought this whole time it's just rust. But yeah, it turns out that's transparent and that's actually tape. Awesome camouflage though, look at that. You would never know. So yeah, I'm going to have to cut that out too and plate that. And down there, I mean, I'm going to have to pull the motor out to hammer all of that back out. But to be honest, that all needs to be cut out and like re-plated. So yeah, I've decided I'm going to start looking for another shell. Not to say I'm throwing this one in the bin, but yeah, basically, I don't want to be out of driving. So what I might do is find another 180 shell, keep driving this in the meantime. And then I'll get that shell ready for all this running gear front subframe, rear cradle, full running gear to go in the other shell. And then I'll clean this shell right up, and then maybe put another motor and box in this, or just keep it as a spare shell. I'm not too sure yet, but here's where we're at. It is 1:15. I'm tired and cold, and I think it's time to go to bed. So let's come back in the morning and keep hammering this out.